Everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm glad to see all of you here, and today I'm gonna be showing you how to crochet this kind of pumpkin, precisely this small one. You can see all the description below and how many chains you need to make to have a pumpkin of each of the sizes I have. I'm using a cotton yarn, precisely Alize cotton gold and YarnArt jeans. You can see all the colors in the description below as well. You will also need a hook, 3 millimeters. You're absolutely free to use any kind of yarn you prefer, and the hook that matches this yarn. The bigger yarn you have, the bigger pumpkin you will have as the result, and also as many chains you make at the beginning, the bigger pumpkin you will also have. I also recommend you to go on Pinterest and get inspired by color combination. Precisely these two pumpkins, I saw the picture of color combination on the Pinterest. That's why I think all the colors I used on these two pumpkins really work well together. So I hope you will enjoy this tutorial. Let's get started. These are 3 colors I'm gonna be using this time in this particular order. So we start with color number 1 and we chain 20 plus 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and plus 1. Now into the second from the hook stitch, not this one but the second one, we start doing single crochet. Just single crochet into every stitch. So let's meet in the end. We need to make 20 single stitches in this row. So there is only one stitch left for me. Let's do it together. Single crochet, and I a bit pull this piece of yarn just to close the hole. And what I'm doing now, I'm doing chain 1 and turn. From now on we're going to be crocheting on the back loop only. Every single row we're gonna do since row 2 until the end, on the back loop only. What does it mean? If you look on your stitches from the top, you will see that each loop consists of 2 sides: front loop and back loop. Just a second. Back loop, front loop and back loop. Every stitch consists of these 2 loops. So we always skip this stitch and start crocheting into the second stitch and doing it back loop. So we go with our hook like this, pull the yarn, and make a stitch, back loop, so this is what we will have. So let's meet at the end of the second row. So there are only 2 stitches left for me. Let's make them together. Don't crochet too tight and don't miss the last stitch of the row. So for the first color, first time, we will do only 2 rows. We did this first row and now the second. All the other colors we will always do 4 rows. This is an exception only for a first round of the first color. So second time, then we will change color into this one, peach color. We will do 4 rows, but only now we will do only 2. So now I need to change the color of my yarn. As you can see, I didn't finish my last stitch. I just did a half of it. So I take a yarn of a second color and just finishing my stitch with the second color. I don't pull through 2 loops with the basic color, with the color number 1, but the color number 2. And also do chain 1. We will always finish every row with chain 1 and turning. What we do now, as we change the color, always the first row of the new color, we crochet not into the back loop but into the base of this last row. What I mean, you can see like small holes. I'm gonna show you. I hope you can see it. Small holes right here, right here, right here, like there. Small holes between first row and the second row. So to make this to look like this, we need to crochet with every new color into these small holes, and the first small hole starts right here in the edge at the edge. Please don't miss it. Don't start crocheting right here, please. Your first hole is right here. Oh, I'm sorry. So this is how it should look. Those holes are really easy to see. So let's meet in the end of this row. So as always, there are 2 holes left. Let's finish them together. And chain 1 and turn. So what we need to do now is make our common back loop row, skipping the first stitch. And now we just continue stitching into the back loop. If we look into the front side, we'll count like 1, now we go 2, then 3 and 4. 4 rows of each color. Always back loop, always chaining chain 1 in the end, and always turning. Let's meet it in the end of 4th row of the second color. So now I'm at the end of row number 4 of my second color, and this is the time to add color number 3. Let's do this together. In the last stitch, when you have 2 loops, you just pulling through another color and chain 1 and turn. And as we change the color, the first row that we need to make is to these small holes between previous 2 rows of another color, and the first hole, I remind you, is right here Don't miss it, please. You can always pull this piece of yarn. So what we need to do now is just continue this order of crocheting and how long you need to crochet. No matter how many stitches you made at the beginning, you always need to make the length of the pumpkin twice bigger as the initial number of your loops. So we at the beginning we had like 8 centimeters or 3 inches, so we need to crochet as long as it's twice bigger than this size. So if I had 8 centimeters, I will need to crochet until I have 16 or 6 inches. So all you need to do now is just continue this order of stitching and changing the color. Be attentive, please. And we will meet at the end when we will have a bigger piece of our pumpkin. So I just finished the row number 4 of my third color, and I need to change my color back into the very first one. I'm sorry. And I have the yarn which I didn't cut. So what I'm doing now is just pulling this piece of yarn up to change the color, and chain 1. I want to tell you that you shouldn't be worried about these long pieces of yarn going on one of the sides, because when we will be pulling all the edges together, it's easy to hide inside. And as you can see on my both pumpkins, you cannot see anything, which reminds you of these long pieces of yarn on one of the sides of your crocheting. So just don't cut the yarn. You can see all 3 yarns are here on the sides, and I'm every time I need to change the color, I will pull them up and just grab them and start crocheting. Welcome back, everyone. I finished all row I need. I want you to notice that my pumpkin, which is now just canvas, is a bit longer than twice than my whites. Why is that? Because I need to finish my crocheting with the same color I started with. One of the most important things, when you look into the front side and see these pieces of yarn on the right side, you need to finish in the row where your yarn is left on the left side. So in the opposite side of these long pieces of yarn. Okay, this is the right side and this is the left side. And cut the yarn, and you need to cut pretty a lot because we will need a lot of yarn to finish our pumpkin. I also already cut other 2 pieces of yarn and hide them on the back side. As you can see, it's right here. So what we need to do next is to sew these 2 sides of the pumpkin, but we need to start sewing not on the front side but on the back side. We need to fold it in halves and face back side of the pumpkin. I pulled the yarn from the loop to close this loop, As you can see, I have pretty much yarn left. Oh. So what we're gonna do now is we need now our needle and start sewing. We just find a first loop on the opposite side and insert our needle and pull the yarn. So we just do one and the same movement till the end of the row. We go from downside, we find a first stitch on the downside and then find the next stitch on the upper side and pull them together. Again, on the downside to the upper side, just be attentive you don't skip any single stitch. So I finished sewing. This is how it looks now. And now what we need to do is to turn our pumpkin inside out. And we turned out to be on the side with long pieces of yarn, and it is now on the left side, and this is correct. What we need to do next, I still have needle with my yarn. We don't cut the yarn, we just start with our needle going in and out of our future pumpkin like this. It shouldn't be perfect, it shouldn't be one and the same size of steps, of needle steps. Just randomly we insert our needle into the canvas and out, in and out, like this. And so the next step is just pulling this yarn gently. Please be gentle, because if you will be too tough, you can torn the piece of yarn and it will create some problems for you. When I'm pulling, I'm hiding these pieces of yarn inside. You see, we step by step we're closing this bottom hole of our pumpkin. This is gonna be our bottom. So as you can see, I just got some extra pieces of yarn which I don't need here. I just go inside and pull them on the other side and continue pulling this yarn also. When I think I'm done with pulling and my hole is closed, I just make few stitches just to make sure it will be fixed firmly. So what I'm doing is just one, and continue pulling. With every stitch I additionally pull the yarn. Now this is your favorite part. We need to fill our pumpkin with Holofiber, but don't stuff too firmly because we will pull our yarn again. So if you stuff it too firm, your pumpkin won't be able to get the shape we need. That's too much. Now we need just go with our needle from the bottom to the top, right in the middle. Pull it. So when we are up, we just need to repeat going in and out of the edge on the edge. So guess what? We start gently pulling our pumpkin again and gently closing the upper hole, gently. I hold yarn with my finger and also doing few stitches to fix it before cutting the yarn. Now I'm fixing my yarn and hiding the excess of my yarn inside of the pumpkin and cut it. So the only thing that left is doing the stem. Hook 3mm and brown color yarn. So I leave a small tail and chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. Into the second from the hook stitch, always second. I pull my hook into it, but do not finish a stitch. We have now 2 loops on the hook. Proceed with the next stitch, doing the same, and now we have 3 loops on the hook. Now shocking content, I take my hook from 2 and just leaving my hook in the first loop. Grab a yarn and pull through the first one loop. Insert into the second loop and pull my yarn through, and doing the same with the third loop. So now we will always have 3 loops on our hook and always leaving and crocheting in turns. Just continue doing the same thing. Just don't try to do this fast. You better do this slowly. Oh, you see, this loop is trying to run away from me. I'm not leaving him a chance. So I guess for this pumpkin we just need to make a stem like double this size, like 3 more rows, and I will stop, I guess. So I made 5 more rounds for stem, and in total I have 8 rows for my stem. To finish it, I just pull a yarn through all 3 loops, pull it, and cut it. And this is how the stem should look like. The only thing has left is to sew it on the top of our pumpkin, right in the center. So this is the final look for the pumpkin. And it's turned out to be about 5 centimeters high, 2.5 inches, something about that. This is the smallest pumpkin. This is the biggest. And this is medium size. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it's not hard to make yourself. I apologize if my English is not that perfect and some words were not clear to you, but I'm working on that. Thank you so much for watching me. Don't forget to drop me a like or leave a comment and subscribe to my other social media pages. Bye bye.